What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sandy Chi with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan is conducting its first civil defense drill of the year in the central city of Taichung. Every Thursday for the next 6 weeks, different parts of Taiwan will practice disaster relief for wartime and other emergencies. The drills are aimed at helping cities and counties across the country adjust their response to various scenarios. Taiwan's Defense Ministry says that this year, 70% of the drills will focus on wartime exercises. They come just after China wrapped up 3 days of war games around Taiwan. Japan briefly alerted residents of its northern island of Hokkaido to take shelter on Thursday. That was after North Korea launched a ballistic missile. Japan's government later withdrew the warning. Officials said the alert was appropriate for the situation. Earlier reports said it was an error. North Korea fired the missile from near Pyongyang at around 7 a.m. Japan's Coast Guard said the missile had fallen into the sea outside of Japan's exclusive economic zone. The launch comes after North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, vowed to strengthen the country's defense against what he calls aggression by the U.S. An airstrike by Myanmar's military on a village in the north of the country has drawn strong condemnation around the region, including from the head of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It's feared as many as 100 people were killed in Tuesday's attack, with shocking images emerging online showing the aftermath. Rick Lauert spoke to Ong Jong-mo, an advisor to Myanmar's national unity government, a shadow administration formed after the 2021 military coup.
Can you tell us about the situation in Sagaing, northwestern Myanmar?
So the situations in Sagaing has been quite horrific. The junta has been increasingly using air forces to target the civilian and carry out indiscriminate attack toward the civilian and other forces who are fighting for democracy and human rights. And the one recently in Sagaing was the most horrific and deadliest one. That impacted the life of 50 plus people and many more got injured. And this is just happened before the Myanmar New Year, which is absolutely horrific. And while there was an administrative office ceremony being held, and where some civilian were gathering, and junta got somehow the news and carried out this attack brutally.
And how common are attacks like this, and why is the Myanmar military using airstrikes against its own people?
The junta is weak, and they would do anything to show their capability to the people of Myanmar to maintain the status quo of the attempt coup. And that's what they're trying to do. And they don't care whether civilians are being killed or civilians are being spared. And this is a clear violation of the international humanitarian law. And many kids, women has been killed as a result of this, not only from this incident.
And could you describe the situation in Myanmar at the moment? Is the country in a state of civil war?
Definitely the country is falling apart. It has been more than 2 years. The people in Myanmar did not give up on their determinations to fight until the end, to bring this country back to the path of democracy, where all the ethnics has equal rights and where democracy is flourished. And as a result, the people don't want to be governed by the handful number of military who has been destroying the country, sucking the blood of the country for their own benefits and their family members.
That was Rick Lauert speaking to Myanmar National Unity Government advisor Ong Jong-mo. A study by a U.S. think tank has found that an overwhelming majority of Americans have a negative view of China. According to the report by the Pew Research Center, 83% of respondents view China unfavorably. That's the highest percentage Pew has recorded on this issue, and close to double the 47% figure from 2017. Only 14% have favorable opinions on China. The research also found that 84% of Americans see tensions between Taiwan and China as a serious problem. 47% said the situation is very serious. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, popularly known as Lula, has arrived in Shanghai. It's his first stop on a 6-day state visit to China. This is Lula's first visit to China since he was elected again last year. He will meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang. Lula's delegation reportedly includes over 200 business leaders. The highly publicized trip is a sharp break from the China skeptic policies of his predecessor, Jair Bolsonaro. It's the latest sign of Beijing's renewed focus on foreign affairs. Earlier this year, China helped broker a landmark agreement between Iran and Saudi Arabia. And last week, it hosted French President Emmanuel Macron and EU Commission head Ursula von der Leyen. Lula visited China twice during his first term as president from 2003 to 2011. Taiwan's economy minister has pushed back on reports that tech giant TSMC is slowing down its domestic production. Minister Wang Meihua on Wednesday said that TSMC's plan to open a new chip factory in Kaohsiung remain unchanged. Her comments come after a recent report by Taiwanese media outlet DigiTimes. The article said that TSMC is slowing down its investment plans in the southern port city. TSMC earlier announced a delay in the opening of the Kaohsiung factory. This is the second time the chipmaker has postponed its investment in Kaohsiung. Liu Peizhen, a researcher at a local think tank, says a recession in the global chip market is to blame for TSMC's deferral.
全球半导体的一个景气，那么整体在这个库存的一个去化，那么以及在终端需求的一个上升的状况是比较不如预期的。那所以在这个情况之下，也会比较导致在未来的一个订单能见度相对是比较有限的。
A nature reserve in northern Taiwan, famed for its giant trees and misty mountains, is set to begin charging entry fees. This has some locals hopeful it will bring in more investment. But others are worried this won't be enough to keep visitors' numbers manageable. John Van Triest has the story.
This towering cluster of trees has been on this mountainside for over a millennium. It would take several adults to surround the thickest of their trunks. This is Lala Shan, a rugged nature reserve in Taiwan's north. Since it opened to the public in 1986, it's been a hit, bringing in up to 170,000 visitors a year. Given Taiwan's history of logging, such a tight cluster of ancient trees in such an accessible place is rare.
我们接近这个树木的距离很近，而且体力不用很大的要求。
胸径超过1公尺以上的巨木，至少就有超过100克。走在里面，就其实在被巨木所包围。
And now it's set for an upgrade from nature reserve to national forest recreation area, making it the 19th of its kind in Taiwan. The new designation will mean admission fees for visitors. Locals hope that the proceeds, and more government investment, will be used to fix up the park's aging facilities and build a tourism center. But others are more concerned with another problem: overcrowding.
倍增的话，它的交通反而会打结，对，因为我们里面就是主要是停车位有限，希望有客人，但是太多的话，反而那个反而会比较差一点。
The change in status takes effect on April 18th. In the meantime, people who live around Lalashan are waiting to see what the upgrade will mean for them and their home. Leon Lien and John Van Triest for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's most prestigious dance troupe is taking part in Taiwan Week, a theater arts festival. Cloudgate Dance Theater performed Lunar Halo on Tuesday. The dance reflects a world reshaped by technology. The show's choreographer, Zheng Zonglong, says a lunar halo was an omen of impending change to ancient societies, while the moon itself watches over developments on Earth. Multiple large LED panels are used to create an effect like a giant smartphone. Dancers interact with the symbol of technology. Zheng says the performance was well received by international curators.
大家都很惊讶，还有人跟我说，他们如果不停下来，我都不能呼吸了，就 hold 在那里，所以是好的，意思是舞者非常卖力，然后许多策展人也看得很细，就是在我们的动作体系里面很多的旋转，很多的拐，那是在西方的身体语会比较少见的。
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, check out these shots of coral spawning in waters off southern Taiwan's Kenting. Entire colonies of coral release their tiny eggs into the ocean at the same time. I'm Sandy Chi, take care and see you next time.